And now she will be able to put right what she botched this season, I'm sure of it.
Well, I'm sure with Whistledown still on the loose, next season will be far more interesting.
We've been talking non-stop about how excited we are for the next season of Bridgerton, but today we're focusing on one character we can't wait to see more of. Of course, I'm talking about the man who's been the most iconic through all 3 seasons, the one and only Anthony, or as some fans call him, the Waterman. So here's the deal. Jonathan Bailey's Bridgerton Season 4 update brings some not-so-great news for Anthony, but it's not just him. There are also some big changes coming to Benedict's story in Season 4 that will be different from the first 3 seasons on Netflix. Let's dive into everything we know about Season 4. As we know, Jonathan Bailey is set to return as Anthony in Bridgerton Season 4, but fans might want to manage their expectations after hearing some worrying news. The show, based on Julia Quinn's books, follows the Bridgerton family in Regency-era London, with each season focusing on a different sibling's love story. Season 2 centered on Anthony's romance with Kate, and while they're married now, they'll still have a role in the show. However, in June 2024, showrunner Jess Brownell shared that Bridgerton is on a 2-year pace, meaning Season 4 probably won't hit screens until 2026. Even though Anthony and Kate returned in Season 3, their presence was much smaller than fans hoped, with a couple more in the background. Unfortunately, it seems like the same might happen in Season 4. Jonathan Bailey revealed in December 2024 that he's already wrapped filming for Season 4, even though production is expected to continue until spring 2025. This suggests that Anthony might not have a big role this season either. With Bailey's career on fire in 2024, including starring in Fellow Travelers and Wicked, it's possible his busy schedule influenced this decision. If Anthony continues to have a smaller role, it's a bit disappointing, especially since he and Kate should be more involved in running the Bridgerton household. While the first 3 seasons of Bridgerton have a lot in common, like focusing on a new lead romance each time, Benedict Bridgerton's story is going to be different from what we've seen before. Based on Julia Quinn's Bridgerton novels, the show follows the Bridgerton kids on their quest for love, and it's one of Netflix's most popular series, getting better each season. Benedict's story comes after Anthony's in the books, but the show skipped over it and gave Colin a bigger role in Season 3. Now that it's confirmed Season 4 will focus on Benedict, there are some major changes fans can expect. The exact storyline for Season 4 isn't out yet, but since it's based on Quinn's An Offer from a Gentleman, we can guess how things might unfold. As we know, Bridgerton Season 4 will show a main couple as parents. By the end of Season 3, Penelope and Colin have a son, and Anthony and Kate are expecting. In the books, Daphne, Anthony, and Colin all become parents, but the show hasn't really explored this yet. After Simon left after Season 1, it made sense that their parenting wasn't a big part of Season 2. Kate only gets pregnant halfway through Season 3, so there wasn't much time to show her and Anthony as parents either. Now with Penelope and Colin having a child and returning for Season 4, the show has a great opportunity to explore this aspect of their lives. While the main focus of Bridgerton is still the romance of each season's couple, it's important to show how they've grown, especially with new challenges and responsibilities like parenting. This could be a refreshing change for Season 4, giving fans a look at the next phase of their journeys. That said, a fun tag for Bridgerton Season 4 is that Benedict's story will be based on a fairy tale. His romance with Sophie, played by Yerin Ha, has a lot of Cinderella vibes. They meet at a ball, share an unforgettable dance, and of course, Sophie runs away at the end, leaving behind something to help Benedict find her. In An Offer from a Gentleman, Mrs. Gibbons, the head housekeeper at the Earl of Penwood's estate, plays a fairy godmother role, helping Sophie get to the masquerade ball where she meets Benedict. Benedict's storyline being inspired by a fairy tale is a great way to add a fresh romantic twist to the series. While Bridgerton has already given us classic romance tropes like Anthony and Kate's enemies to lovers story and Colin and Penelope's friends to lovers journey, Sophie's Cinderella-inspired arc will bring something extra magical to Season 4. There's plenty of fairy tale material left to explore, and it'll be exciting to see how it all plays out. We all know by now that Bridgerton Season 4 will include a time jump. Unlike the previous seasons where everything happens in the same social season, Benedict's story takes a bit of a different turn. He first meets Sophie, the Lady in Silver, at his mother's masquerade ball in 1815. After Sophie disappears from the event, Benedict spends 2 years trying to find her. They finally reconnect when Benedict saves her from unwanted attention by Philip Cavender and his friends, though he doesn't recognize her at first. The time jump is important for Benedict's character development. In Season 3, Benedict has an affair with Lady Tilly and even shares a threesome, but he ends things when she pushes for a more serious monogamous relationship. The time jump in Season 4 will give Benedict time to explore his sexuality and grow as a person. If he were to immediately fall for Sophie, it would skip over important personal growth and hurt his chances of being the right partner for her. This time away will help him become the best version of himself, and it'll be exciting to see how it all plays out. And let's not forget, Lady Danbury has always been a key figure in helping the Bridgerton children find their perfect matches. In the first season, she plays matchmaker for Simon and Daphne, and she does the same for Anthony and Colin in later seasons. But in Benedict's story, things are a bit different. In An Offer from a Gentleman, Lady Danbury doesn't seem to have much of a role in Benedict and Sophie's romance, and she barely appears in the book. Now, while Benedict and Lady Danbury don't have a close relationship, it could actually be a good thing if she has a smaller role in Benedict's season. Instead of focusing on her matchmaking, the show could shift attention to other aspects of Lady Danbury's life, possibly even exploring a romance of her own. Or she could step into a fairy godmother role for Sophie, just like she did for the other Bridgerton siblings. Either way, it's time for Lady Danbury to have a storyline that's all about her. Violet and Viscount Edmund Bridgerton's relationship is the ideal example of true love for her children. Sadly, Edmund passed away when Violet was pregnant with their youngest. After his death, Violet didn't seek out a new love, though she was lonely. Years later, she finally tells Lady Danbury she might want companionship again, which sets up her potential romance with Lady Danbury's brother, Lord Marcus Anderson, in Season 3. Violet has always prioritized her children's needs, so a romance with Lord Anderson in Season 4 would be a great storyline. Violet is one of the best characters in Bridgerton, and it's time she gets her own romance. Hopefully, Season 4 will finally give Violet the love she deserves after all this time without a partner. The show has explored how strict social rules kept some characters apart. In Season 1, Anthony couldn't be with Sienna because of their different social statuses. Eloise and Theo faced similar issues, though their relationship didn't go far enough to challenge that. Despite this, the Bridgerton siblings marry within their class. But Sophie and Benedict's season will change that, as Benedict will marry someone from a different class. However, their story isn't simple. In An Offer from a Gentleman, Sophie's social status is raised when her father dies, allowing her to be seen as a relative of her stepmother's family. Without this, her relationship with Benedict would have faced even more challenges. Season 4, inspired by Cinderella, makes Sophie's story stand out. She's mistreated by her stepmother and, after her father's death, forced into housemaid duties. Sophie sneaks into the Bridgerton ball and has a magical night with Benedict, but they can't be together. When her stepmother finds out, Sophie is kicked out. Benedict saves her, and Season 4 will let the show explore characters from a lower social class. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.